Hey, so I've had this idea in my head for a while. I wanted to put something like above my knees that match. You know how people have like the Hello Kitty shits on their collarbones or like just like the barbed wire or something, but I couldn't figure out what. And after, spending a little time making stencils and shit, I decided on some Roman numerals and some flowers, but my flowers are a little, lacking a bit, so I'm gonna go in and shade them and then record that. I did the lining yesterday. I just need to touch it up a bit and then shade and stuff, so yeah. I am super amateur though, so if you're experienced in watching this and cringing like hard as fuck looking at it, it is what it is, But yeah, I figured I'd record it because why not? I always watch like Blake Homie's tattoo videos and stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at it. And who better to practice on than yourself? Because if you fuck it up, it's your own fault. And I plan on being covered anyways, so like, if I mess up a tattoo, I'm not that worried about it as long as it's on me, because I'm gonna just have my skin crowded. So I figure memory's a memory, With that, I think I'm just gonna add sped up time lapse and maybe a voiceover, who knows, but so starting off, I just like set down my stencil, and honestly I'd never used a stencil before, but it was not nearly as overcomplicated as I assumed it'd be. Like, I don't know why, for some reason I thought that it would be super hard. It's really easy, you just draw it on and slap it on, As for my actual like equipment and stuff, I like this one, and I feel like if you're a beginner it works perfect. Because, I can, it's by, I think, Dragon something on Amazon for like $100. You get a whole set, although if you get the set, I do not recommend you use the needles. The needles are ass. They don't pick up ink at all, and you'll end up just hurting yourself. I used them for a few tattoos, and it did it eventually, but it took a really long time. It was really painful. And like, I don't know, just don't use them. But otherwise, everything else in the set just works perfectly fine. The machine itself is kind of heavy on the hand, but I feel like for a beginner, as long as you're being careful, it's alright. Set it down on a lower voltage. It's really easy to use. Everything is super self-explanatory. It'll tell you where to put things and like yada yada. So just as long as you order your own little needles along with it, it'll go fine. And it's not too big of an investment. If you buy everything separately, it can be a lot more money, and a lot of people don't have that to start off. Like, if it's just something you're not sure if you're into, or you just want to, experiment, it's good. Again, super heavy on the hand, so you'll have to get used to that and be super careful, go super slow if you just starting off. I remember my first time I picked it up and I turned it on, I didn't know what to expect. Everyone told me to have a voltage of at least like 7 or something, and I put it on 7 and I was like, I can't even hold this. Like, even with my grip on, even with my grip tape on, I literally can't hold this. It's gonna fall out of my hand. So I just put it on like 4 and from there, and that's how I'm practicing and learning. It does take a bit longer, but honestly, you're fine. I use Needle Bee needles and this other brand that I don't feel like searching for, but they're pretty good. They're not like top quality or anything, but they're good enough for me. I bought them off some guy. I'm sure they're on the internet somewhere. Everything is. It's really easy. There's also a bunch of tutorials on it because it's like the most bought tattoo kit on Amazon, I think. There's like 13 minutes worth of super sped up footage of me tattooing myself, and I didn't want it to just be like music for 13 minutes, so I thought I'd say a few things for anyone who's younger and might come across this or whatever. A lot of kids my age want tattoos, like a lot of them. Definitely take into consideration, if you're doing tattoos on people, just don't do them on anyone under 18, especially if you're under 18 or like you don't have the right certification or whatever, because you get a lot of trouble that way. I mean, I haven't, but who's to say, like, that's on their body forever, and there's 2 years until they're a legal adult. Like, their parents could find out anytime and shit could go down, so it's just not a good idea. I don't know, I don't think that's particularly something a lot of kids are getting themselves into, but now if you're doing it on yourself, that's a whole other ordeal. The only person that can get in trouble is you. I would just say, if it is something that you really want, and again, you really want it to be there forever, then you can wait until you can get it with parental permission. You know, my family is very willing and tolerant of this kind of thing. For me personally, it's just something I really like to do. I'm not the greatest at it. It's just something I'm passionate about, and I'm not passionate about a whole lot of things. So if you are feeling the same way, or you want, like, you really just want to explore, like, I know a lot of people see stuff on their Instagram feed like that. I'm definitely super influenced by that kind of thing. I don't know. Influence is a really big thing. Just be safe, and honestly, no one ever, like, literally no one ever suggests this, but start with stick and pokes. Because stick and pokes are honestly, like, you learn about depth, you get, like, I mean, using a machine is way different. It's a whole different, like, thing, but you still can apply that knowledge. Like, you learn about lining and line work or whatever. I mean, you can't shade with a stick and pokes, so I guess that's why I don't know how to shade, but it's honestly, yeah, start with a stick and poke, and it's the safest way in my opinion, because if you just are automatically, like, starting with doing it with a machine, you could mess up in so many different ways and hurt yourself in so many different ways. Stick and pokes, you're just using your hand and poking yourself. Like, it's, as long as you have the right ink and the right needles, like, it's a lot cheaper. You can trust needles on Amazon for the most part. Like, not a whole lot can go wrong there. So, like, that's easily accessible to anyone, and as long as you're looking up into the right ink, to start with a stick and poke. If you really want a tattoo that bad, do something that is just line work and that you can easily do yourself. Get shit on Amazon. It's really easy to look into it. You can spend like $15 and boom, there you go. Plus stick and pokes, there's that whole, like, oh, you'll regret it later. You can easily cover a stick and poke. Like, it is what it is, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I really feel like it all depends on your personality and what you're like, and if you're a little gullible or easily influenced. Like, if you know yourself well enough to trust yourself, then fuck it, yeah, do tattoos. Like, who gives a shit? You know, like, you're young, whatever. As long as you're staying out of legal trouble, like, it is what it is. I know there's the whole, like, oh, you're gonna regret that tattoo, but for the most part, minors aren't really doing super ginormous, like, sleeves or anything. Whatever, you tattooed a giraffe on your kneecap, like, you'll get over it. Or, okay, like, more commonly, people will do, like, hand tats, which is ridiculous if you have no other tattoos. Like, that just looks so funny. But, like, I get it. People do hand tats as their first tattoo, and then they'll completely fuck it up, and it's just on your hand. You have to put something better over it, or just live with it, like, you know? So, like, fuck it, just do whatever you're gonna do. Okay, those are my tattoos. I attempted shading and it didn't really work out that well. So it just is what it is. I really don't like the leaves on the left side, but I don't know, I figure I can touch that up when I get a bit more skilled, you know, a few months down the road. I mean, they're gonna be here forever, so it's really never too late to like touch them up, you know, or change them or whatever. I think the right side came out pretty good, although the first rows, the bottom part, like I really wanted to shade that part so it would look good and I couldn't get it to happen, but again, they're gonna be on me forever, so I'm not really too stressed about how they are right now. Yeah, that's it. Peace.